I'm here with my friend and colleague, Matt Zielinski, and I'd like to introduce Taylor Buckley, Project Interpreter 2 and Data Manager, and Herman Liebert, Principal Geologist, both with Petroleum Geoservices, also known as PGS. So welcome, everybody. How you guys doing?
Gents, fantastic. How are you all?
I'm doing great.
Thank you. Excellent. Pleasure to be here.
Good to see you. Good to see you all.
Awesome. All right, guys, so can you just tell us a little bit about what PGS does and also a little bit about the people that make that happen?
Okay, PGS is what we call a fully integrated seismic service company, and what it means is basically PGS provides seismic service to the oil and gas industry over the full life cycle of seismic acquisition to seismic processing. So we have a fleet of boats running around the planet and acquire data. And we here, in particular our team, the interpretation team, we are integrated or embedded in the processing unit. So when these data came from the boat, they will be processed, they will be filtered and conditioned for our customers. And that's basically what we are doing here. So the whole workflow and process is pretty data intensive because seismic data, so you produce terabytes of data which have to be processed and analyzed, and that's basically what we are doing. And our part as an interpretation team here is to provide velocity support the processing with the velocity model, and that is basically reflects the geometry of the subsurface. So there's a lot of interpretation work in it, which is quite similar to what the industry is doing in exploration and in their production units, analyzing seismic data in order to find hydrocarbons in the subsurface.
Well, Herman, I know hurricanes aren't exactly a seismic event, but as we're sitting here talking, we've got Hurricane Delta spinning around in the Gulf, and I understand based on some of our conversations that you guys were hit super hard by Hurricane Harvey. How did that impact your team, and what was that like? And let's hope that it's not going to happen in the next couple of days.
So Harvey was a game changer because it was a slow-moving storm, and it was not so much the impact of the hurricane itself, but the rain, which basically cut off the entire city of Houston by flooding. And that had a major impact on all businesses, including ours. And in the aftermath of Harvey, we were thinking how we can optimize our business contingency plan in order that we minimize the impact of such natural disasters, which are in the south of the U.S. quite often happening. So as I said, there's another storm at the moment out in the Gulf of Mexico. So that was a start for thinking about a better solution. What we had at that time, that was a workstation-based solution. Yeah.
When I was living right down the street from you in Austin, Texas, when Harvey hit, and I know that was at least 3 months of really off the grid and some terrible events and a lot of cleanup, and it was incredibly challenging. After all those, that challenging time of being sort of disconnected, for lack of a better term, what did you want to do moving forward?
So what we did after we realized that we have to do something, so we built a list of key success factors, or for a project to improve our accessibility during such a disaster. And so we came up with a couple of key topics. Two umbrella topics were, first was performance, and the second one was data security. So we were looking for a solution which brings us through a natural disaster with a smooth operations, and at the same time we want to make sure that our data are all secured. So that was the key elements for that project. And then we thought what kind of possibility we have, because we were looking really for a remote solution, because we were cut off from our office space at that time. We were concentrating our operations at our secured compute center in Westway. And So, but that was something which you could not rely on continuously, and a lot of people had trouble to travel to the workplace because the streets were flooded. So we needed a good solution in that direction. Remote access was for us the option to go, and at the same time we want to have these high performance. What we need, because as we said before, these are very data intensive workflows we have here, and graphic intensive workflows, and we need a solution which offers a good performance on that end for us.
So Herman, and actually I want to turn to Taylor here, if that's okay. So given that you just said the performance is absolutely critical given the amount of data that you have involved. So Taylor, it's got to have been challenging for you to find a solution that worked for absolutely everyone at any time from anywhere. How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, and from the offset of it, it sounds like a simple thing to go. My criteria for success was to have workstation desktop grade level performance on a remote visualization solution, which sounds fairly simple, but it's not as simple as you think it would be, because our data is so graphic intensive and in such large chunks of data going in and out. It's hard to find a solution that has both high quality imaging along with low latency. And latency is very important for our group because of how many clicks we do as a group. As interpretation, we do 1 million clicks a day. And if you're doing 1 million clicks a day, any sense of a fraction of a second that is being lost to lag adds up very quickly, not only for performance of extra time, but also the mental well-being for the interpreters in the group of just having a hard time doing simple things, and that adds up towards the mental health of our employees here.
Yeah, maybe I weighed in here because of mental health, and given the fact that I have worked in this industry in exploration and production for quite a couple of years, latency is really something which can affect your mental health. So it is a very important issue that you have a very good performance of your software and your tool when you do your work, because these clicking and these interruptions can drive people really crazy. And this was one of the key performance factors we had formulated. We need a smooth operating application, and we need an environment which guarantees that, and that was very, very key for us.
Might I add that we ran some other tests before we got to the Lenovo solution here, and I was supposed to be working on this one solution for a few weeks, working in it dedicated. I can only make it through half a day because the latency was so bad that I didn't think it was worth pursuing any further. And I had another employee come in and test it with me, and she said the same thing. She said, I can't work on this. Like, okay, well, I agree with you. And we just abandoned working on it after half a day.
Now, guys, both excellent points. Look, I know one of our channel partners led the process of designing, building, and testing a solution. Can you tell us a bit more about them? And Taylor, I'll direct this towards you, and how important it is to have such a trusted channel partner work this solution with us?
Yeah, we're working with PC to provide an end-to-end solution for this scenario. They have taken the time to understand us as a business and what we need to, on our compute side, to function appropriately for our team. And like I said, it's about replacing workstation-grade desktops with a remote solution and not compromising in the middle of that. And so they've been really good at helping us, get what we need and providing a solution that works for us across the board and providing support for us on that solution.
I remember the kickoff meeting for this test phase, and it was amazing because we had a room full of experts. So the entire consortium showed up. We spent, I think, almost half a day on discussing our ideas, what we had in mind, and what our requirements are, and how the consortium could address that. I was pretty impressed how much capacity and expertise was in the room at that time from all the different partners of that project consortium. It was really impressive. It went all over the board, and I don't want to name all the different players in the game, but it was was very, very, very productive and set the stage right to get the optimum solution for us, I have to say. Yeah.
I mean, look, anytime I hear about the experience that some of our customers have with our business partners, is kind of a humbling and a joyful experience for us. So it's really fantastic. But can we get back to a little bit more of the details of the solution and what it really did for you?
Yeah, so we are working on the RVIS solution through our P1 laptops here and connecting to the remote server across the way at Westway. And it's really opened us up to being more flexible at how we work. It got us out of the office in this COVID era and made us the ability to work from home. And it's really been beneficial for us as a group on how to work cohesively together.
Well, Taylor, that's incredibly impressive. And for everyone who's watching, the solution builds on a set of unique GPU capabilities that can be found in the Lenovo ThinkSystem servers, as well as our ThinkPad mobile workstations. And it's those unique capabilities that help to enable this kind of performance across a standard consumer-grade internet connection. But guys, was there any results that you got that you really didn't expect?
Well, along with the flexibility that we are gaining with this, with being able to work, how we need to across either home or in the office or God knows where else, productivity has also improved because what we didn't expect is that collaboration had improved because we're not relegated to our individual desktops anymore. We are now in a unified system with our data stored centrally, and we can access one another's data more fluidly than we could before, which has greatly improved our productivity and collaboration between group members. Another thing that was also added to it is we have some SSD-based server solution for the storage, and the quick load times for our large seismic data sets has really helped us. Scrolling through lines where that would take a few seconds per has been almost instantaneous to help us once again improve productivity across the group and less frustration.
Yeah, I want to add also one or 2 points to it. So what was unexpected was once the performance and actually the increase of the performance of the team. So since we have now a tool which works smoothly and without any interruptions, I think we never had any downtime in that system. The only ones I had personally was when the cable guy cut my cable outside of the house. But that was very important, and it actually had a strong impact on the performance of the team. We are working in a very agile environment. We have a lot of work coming up very quickly, and as Taylor noted, so there is this remote way opened actually a different avenue of interacting between the team, and that improved very much the performance, and working from home was actually also a boost in the performance. And that brings me back to the second point, what I want to make here. We went through the testing phase, the implementation phase, proof of concept, and we finalized and made the decision in January this year. And about a month later, COVID happened. And basically we had to shut down the office due to the mandatory shutdown in Houston. And everybody was sitting at home. So the solution was perfect in a way because the people who had tested it and worked with it, that was half of the team that just kept going as they have already done. So there was no impact on our business performance, only a positive one because we got better performance at all. And the other half of the team was actually transitioned into this remote environment within 24 hours. And there was no problem at all.
Well, given the circumstances, you couldn't have asked for a better outcome. That's great to hear. Now let's fast forward to today. Here we are. We're all talking to each other remotely. We're in the middle of this global pandemic, and everyone is talking about the new normal. How have you been? How have you been dealing with these things? And Herman, perhaps I'll ask you first. What are you going through, and what's the point in the journey that we're at right now?
So we are very, very positive about the solution we have at the moment. We still work from home remotely. As you know, this is basically became an industry standard. And as I said before, there's no impact on our performance. We want to keep that system. We are very happy with it, and we are already thinking of extending it. in different directions and looking for solutions in that way. I can say from the team and the interaction with the team, we all have happy campers, and I have a classical Gaussian distribution on demographics in the team, and there were all these skeptical guys and there are all these enthusiastic guys and whatever you want. Everybody adapted very easily to this solution, and that was for me the most astounding outcome of this. Everybody adapted to it without a lot of difficulties, and people can go easily and do their work. And I have to say I'm grateful because it kept a lot of people in business, to be honest with you. They have still a paycheck, and that's a great thing.
No, that's significant. Taylor, anything to add on that one?
I've got to say we were really lucky in that, Harvey hit us and it sort of kicked us in the pants to come up with a solution. And when COVID hit, we were lucky that we already had a system in place that could help our business continuity forward. And it ended up not being a very big deal for us because, hey, just take my laptop home and I'm working again. It wasn't a problem at all. And the added flexibility for our group to be able to do that kind of stuff has helped improve morale throughout the group because we can work on our own time and when it's best for us to get that stuff done. And I've even been on vacation, to where I can pop on the internet real quick, log onto the server here in Houston and get something done for other teammates, and it's not impacting anything. And it's lucky that we can access this from anywhere in the world with just any sort of standard internet connection and get stuff done as we need to.
It's an amazing story that you have, that you've experienced everything from a hurricane at one end of the, to use your term, Herman, Gaussian distribution, to a pandemic at the other end. And right in the middle is this wonderful silver lining of it making a major change to the way that you're doing business. And it's impressive to learn about all the work you've done to keep that continuity of your business moving forward and keep supporting your customers. Because that, at the end of the day, is really the business that I think we're all in, is to ultimately keep our customers as happy as possible. But even more importantly, and this is where the sort of the human aspect of what we're going through right now with COVID-19 is, it's really clear that both of you have really a genuine concern for the experience and again, to use your term, the mental health of your teammates at PGS. I can't think of a better way to describe this other than that it's a new, smarter way forward.
I couldn't agree more, Kevin. Hey, look, both of you, thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Herman, for your time. Thanks for taking this part of your day to join us, to share your story, the PGS story, with everyone. We wish you both well, and I hope you stay safe over the coming few days and beyond. So take care.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.